Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a Neuvillette listener by me. So let's get into it. Jealousy was a strange feeling. A feeling that he truly despised and did not like to associate with himself. And yet, ever since the two of you started being together, it seemed like the feeling has been accompanying him a lot more lately. And it was something he was unsure how to deal with, and it bothered him greatly. He had no idea what to do with all this jealousy inside of him, that feeling in his heart, like it was burning whenever he would see you with someone else, getting a little bit too close, or someone just looking at you in an unfavorable way. Not to mention, you were never in a shortage of suitors or people who had taken a liking to you. He felt lucky to be able to have you, and yet it did nothing to quell his own jealousy, which is why right now he was having such a difficult time trying to control himself and his own possessive urges. Being a dragon, it only makes that harder, and he had discovered that, belatedly so. Wyan, please, I'm asking you to not leave me today. It is the only thing that I will ask. Please, he says, and now he's holding both of your hands, looking into your eyes so desperately, and you have many feelings going on your heart. You have no idea what to do, and you've never seen him act so strangely before. Never so clingy like that. And you really want to go, and yet you can't find it in your heart to really just agree to leave him like that, which is mainly why you don't. Alright, Neuvillette, there seems to be something going on. Would you tell me, please? It's too complicated. I can't. Well, if you can't, then, then I can't help you, Neuvillette. But I really want you to stay. Well, you would have to tell me why. I want to be able to understand you, and you're not really making it easy for me. You have to understand what I'm saying, Neuvillette. And he looks away for a moment, fidgeting, and you can see that he's anxious, that he's not really sure what to make of this, and what to do about it. To be quite honest, it seems like it's a lot for him to deal with, and he has no idea what to do with all those feelings he's going through, which is something you really understand. Neuvillette never really knew how to deal with his own feelings, so it was not really that strange to you. So after you take his hand, and some peace and quiet, the two of you sit together, and finally, after feeling rather anxious for a little bit, he starts talking to you. It is rather embarrassing to admit, but I suppose I've been feeling what you would call jealousy. Jealousy? Neuvillette, are you really jealous? That's why you were acting this way? He looks away, feeling very embarrassed as he nods. And you're silent for a little bit. The silence really scaring him, if you were to be honest. He had no idea whether you were judging him or not. But then, you took his hands gently into your own, kissing them sweetly. I'm not really mad at you. I don't think I could ever be. So, there's no need to be so harsh on yourself. Being jealous is normal, and I would like to tell you something as well. I get jealous too, and being jealous, it's something that anybody goes through. It's not just you who goes through that. So, I suppose what I meant to say is, you should not feel bad about your feelings. But I guess they've been a little bit too much. Is that something to do with your dragon head? You ask him. After some awkward silence, he nods reluctantly. He feels very embarrassed. He really hates the way things have been ever since he regained control over his powers. It seemed like he was losing it, not gaining it. It was embarrassing in every way it could be. And he had zero control over the outcome, which is why it was particularly frustrating in that aspect. You laugh softly, kissing his cheek, and deciding to settle his lap. And suddenly, all the regrets about saying this out loud, and the embarrassment and the many thoughts in his head, they all disappear, replaced by a soft smile. And then he wraps his arms around you, pulling you into his chest, as if to wrap himself around you. He would if he could. He was quite tall, so it was easy to do that. And so, as you wrapped in his arms, surrounded by his body, you hear a soft churn from him, something akin to purring, and you find yourself giggling. Oh, Neuvillette, you're so adorable. I don't think I could ever be mad at you when you make this noise. You're like a big cat. I am not a cat, Wyan. I am a dragon. There is a huge difference. Not to me. You sound just like one. And you're fuzzy and clingy like one too. You say teasingly, and he blushes brightly, burying his face into your neck. He hates the way that you tease him and the way that it gets to him so easily. But right now was the two of you cuddled, as he was in your arms, and holding you closer. All that teasing felt relatively insignificant to what you got in return. The fact that he was able to hold you, and that you willingly stayed behind to stay with him. He knows he needs to be able to work on his rather weird jealousy and those feelings within him that stir so easily. But he's so glad that you have been so understanding, that he has someone like you, someone who will always understand him and never doubt him. So, as the time passes, he just pulls you closer and closer, as tightly as you could to his body, and he closes his eyes, finally feeling like he was able to relax and rest. He had finally finished work, and now convincing you to stay, and to cuddle up close to him like that. It seemed like the perfect time for rest, which is not something that he often took as well, so you should be proud of getting him to do that. And before you knew it, he was asleep, holding you close, purring in his sleep in a way that made your heart melt. And maybe you were just going to fall asleep soon as well. After all, hearing that sound from his chest, that rumbling and the warmth that you get from being in his arms, it makes napping on him a little bit too easy and irresistible. And maybe, just maybe, you didn't mind his clinginess at all. You just wanted to find a reason to tease him.